Video, I'm going to show you how to use the COUNTIF and COUNTIFs functions in Microsoft Excel. Let's get started. And here we have a spreadsheet of a bunch of American football players, and I would like to count how many of these players from two different teams weigh more than 330 pounds. Let's see if we can figure out how to do that in Excel. So here we have a column of their weights, and there are 307 total players. I don't want to have to really count through those manually. So instead, I'll just click here, and I could click anywhere in the spreadsheet really, but I'll just keep it in the weight column. So I click on the cell, type equals, and COUNTIF. So this will count each of the cells that I specify based on certain criteria. I'll put in my left parenthesis, and now I need to specify the range that I'm going to examine. The range is going to be the data in column G. So I'll put in G2 through, and the way you signify through is with a colon, G307. So you can see now all of that data in column G is highlighted. Now I'll put in my comma, and now Excel wants me to enter a criteria. What is the criteria that it's looking for? It's going to count the cells in this column if what? And that's why it's COUNTIF and not just count or count A. So what is my criteria? I want it to be if the number is higher than, let's say, 329. So 330 pounds or higher. Now I'm tempted to put in the greater than symbol and put 329. But when using the COUNTIF or COUNTIFs functions, the operators in the criteria have to be enclosed in double quotes. So here, instead of putting greater than 329, I need to put quote greater than 329 and close quote. Now I put in my right parenthesis and tap enter, and Excel has looked through this data here in column G and found that there are 11 players that weigh 330 pounds or higher on these two teams. So that's an example of how to use COUNTIF. But what about COUNTIFs? Let's say I want to know how many weigh 330 pounds or more, specifically on the Arizona team. How could I do that? I'm just going to click on my COUNTIF formula so that I can go up here to the formula bar and make some adjustments to my formula. I'm going to click after the F in COUNTIF, and I'll add an S, COUNTIFs. Notice what Excel says about COUNTIFs. It counts the number of cells specified by a given set of conditions or criteria. And I'm just going to keep the same range. I still want to know if the weight is higher than 329. But at the end of that criteria, I'm going to put in a comma. And because I'm using COUNTIFs instead of COUNTIF, I can actually have another criteria range and another criteria. So for this second criteria, I'm going to look not in column G, but in column B, because that's where the team names are. So I'm going to look in B2 through B307, comma, and what is the criteria? What am I looking for? What I'm looking for is the word Arizona. So in quotation marks, I could put in Arizona, close quote, right parenthesis, tap enter, and look at the results of my formula. Now it shows the number 6. There are 6 players on the Arizona team that weigh 330 pounds or more. And I want you to know that there's another way I could have expressed this same criteria. I could have put equals Arizona, tap enter, and I still get the number 6. Clicking on the cell with my formula, I want you to see that it's also possible to add another comma and a third criteria range and a third criteria. So that's one of the powerful things about COUNTIFs, is you can have multiple criteria that you want to examine as part of your formula. Thanks for watching.